I just want to come out and say I think it is extremely impressive the amount of talent that the Oklahoma City Thunder has had over the last almost 2 decades or so, going back to the late 2000s, early 2010s. The Oklahoma City Thunder, these guys have seen a lot of great basketball, drafting James Harden, drafting Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. Before these three young players entered their NBA prime, they were so good as a trio that they were able to get to the NBA Finals and play against LeBron James and a very good Miami Heat squad. And then not too long after that, we're out James Harden, but now we're seeing Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant both at one of the best point in times in their basketball careers, playing on the same team. The Oklahoma City Thunder had some really good teams built around those two guys, and they had some really special moments in the playoffs. They were very, very exciting to watch. And then shortly after that, not as good as the latter, but they did have two really good basketball players. Still Russell Westbrook in his prime, where he was a guaranteed triple-double each and every night. Russell Westbrook made the triple-double become normal at this point in time. And then also he had Paul George, who in his tenure with the Oklahoma City Thunder, he was pretty good. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, from that alone, that's 10 years of some really good basketball, really competitive basketball, and some basketball legends. And in the year to 2019, after a heartbreaking loss to the Portland Trail Blazers, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they kind of hit the reset button, they hit the rebuild button, and we saw both Paul George and Russell Westbrook leave the Oklahoma City Thunder. We saw Russell Westbrook go to the Houston Rockets, and then Paul George was involved, and I think is going to go down as one of the most important, one of the most talked about trades throughout NBA history. Now, as you guys saw in the title, it said we can blame the Los Angeles Clippers for this juggernaut of a team that the Oklahoma City Thunder now have. And now my reason for saying this, I know a lot of people can say there's no way at the time that the Los Angeles Clippers could have known how good Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was going to be, but that's just the beginning of this trade. But what I want to talk about, and this is just what I've been hearing when I look at other media on the TV, when I listen to other sports podcasts, but I just heard that the Los Angeles Clippers, they were so desperate to get Paul George to join the Los Angeles Clippers to compete with the Los Angeles Lakers that they basically gave him the keys to the franchise. And one of his special requests was that in order for him to come to the Los Angeles Clippers, they would have to bring in Paul George from the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Clippers wanted Kawhi so bad that they put together an insanely great care package. Like, this is a really, really great care package that the Oklahoma City Thunder got. And I read this deal like 3 times before the video, and essentially it's Paul George for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then an insanely amount of good draft capital. They had 4 unprotected round picks and some other first round picks in there as well, but just a bunch of draft capital. And then also the year that the Los Angeles Clippers, I think it was 2022, they missed the play-in tournament, and that draft pick that they would have had that year, it went to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that pick turned into Jalen Williams, also known as J-Dub. So far, they've gotten an MVP just when they thought they were about to go soul searching, losing Russell Westbrook and Paul George. They get gift wrapped Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who at the time was coming off a very impressive playoff tenure, played a huge role in the Los Angeles Clippers getting into the playoffs that season, where they were kind of competitive and kind of entertaining against the Golden State Warriors. But nonetheless, they restarting their franchise in the trade. They instantly get their franchise player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who about 3-4 years later has become one of the best players in all of the NBA. And then also they've been able to get a player like Jalen Williams out of this deal, who is the second best scorer on the Oklahoma City Thunder right now, and one of the 3 best players on the team. And he's just now entering his 3rd year into the NBA. So right off the bat, the Oklahoma City Thunder is looking like they're winning this deal. I don't know if you guys heard the news, but this is on a Friday, right before the NBA season is starting. Kawhi Leonard is out indefinitely once again. His knee is inflamed up, and now Paul George is now a member of the Philadelphia Sixers. So now when we look at this in totality, and we look at this with context, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they may have pulled off the greatest trade in NBA history, given all that was given up for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to become a duo, and they got nothing out of it, just one conference championship appearance. And I know injuries plagued a lot of it, but still, just imagine if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was still a member of the Los Angeles Clippers. I bet you the Clippers would be feeling a lot more secure about their future. But now instead, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're in such a great situation. When we look at this ball club, they're dominating in every single aspect. They're dominating in their front office. They're dominating in their player development. They dominated in free agency this offseason. The moves that they made in free agency this offseason, I know they're not the sexiest moves, but when you look at it in totality, look at what their team were last year and the deficiencies that they had, and going out to be able to get Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso is literally just another version of Lou Dort. They just do things a little bit differently, but essentially they have the same impact on the court, and usually teams only have one guy that has that type of impact out on the basketball court. So that right there in itself is going to be very scary. And then also rebounding was a big deficiency for this squad last year, and being able to bring in Isaiah Hartenstein, being able to pay him the money that he was looking for, that was very important. Isaiah Hartenstein is a really good basketball player. He showed that in the playoffs last year with the New York Knicks, showcasing his skills. That's why he could be a starting big in this league. So I think it's just very important to point out that the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're able to make deals like that because they haven't had to go out and sign no big name guys, because they've been able to get some really great homegrown talent. Lou Dort, who they drafted, has become one of the best 3-and-D players in the league. And then also they have a unicorn of their own in Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren was drafted in the 2022 NBA draft, the number 2 overall pick. I think he has and I'm not exaggerating here, I think he has, when you look at his game, when you look at his physical makeup, you look at his size, you look at his skill set, he can help Wendy transcend the game of basketball. Once again, just seeing some bigs that we never seen before. But right now, Chet Holmgren, he's so good on the defensive side of the ball. His block to foul ratio is insane. His timing is insane. And then when you just look at the impact, you look at the impact that he had for the Oklahoma City Thunder last year. You look at his rookie season where he had to miss the Oklahoma City Thunder. They lose in the play-in tournament. Chet Holmgren, he comes back, make his NBA debut. They're at the top of the Western Conference, and a lot that has to do with that is what he brings on both the offensive and the defensive side of the ball. We just talked about how great he was defensively, but on the offensive side of the ball, he really unlocks this Oklahoma City Thunder offense because he's playing that 5 spot, and he can stand in the corner and he can stand on the wing. And we all know no true big wants to stand out on that perimeter. He naturally wants to protect the rim. So now he's in the hard spot of leaving Chet Holmgren wide open or letting one of the best penetrators in the league and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander get downhill and do whatever he wants. So I just think the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're in such a great spot with the draft capital, with their cap space, with the contracts, and I honestly think they're the best team in the Western Conference. And I'm not too sure, I'm being respectful to the Boston Celtics because they just won the NBA championship, but I think them as on paper, I think the Oklahoma City Thunder, I think they're the closest team to the Boston Celtics. So this season is going to be so exciting to see which teams establish themselves as the alphas in the Western Conference, in the Eastern Conference. We are so close to the season beginning, but that's what I want to talk about with you guys today. If any Clipper fans watch this video, let me know how you feel in the comment section down below about this trade and essentially getting nothing out of it. Kawhi Leonard is out indefinitely once again. And then if you enjoyed, please leave a like and then also subscribe. And that's curtains.